Hello, doers, and welcome back. My name is Jose Ignacio. Ever try to improve something only to end up completely breaking it? I know I have. And suddenly that little voice in your head starts screaming, "Why did you touch it? It wasn't broken." Well, you can finally silence that inner demon because Odoo PLM is here to save us from ourselves. Think of PLM or product lifecycle management as the ultimate safety net for your manufacturing app. It's essentially a sandbox where we can tinker with our bill of materials, bombs for my acronym lovers, without causing problems on our actual live production line. This means that we can test out wild, new ideas, get them reviewed, and update our products without causing absolute chaos on the shop floor. It's all about constant improvement, minus the drama. So, enough chit chat. Let's see how this works in Odoo. To use PLM to its full potential, we just need the manufacturing application over here and the PLM app installed. First, let's check out the BOM that we're improving today. So we're going to go into the manufacturing app, then products, bill of materials, perfect. And then we're going to select the table. So it's going to use these components over here to build the table. And if we glance up at the operations and the instruction smart button, we can see that we have one operation with 9 instructions to it. At the top of the page, the ECO, in this case, engineering change order smart button, shows us how many changes we're working on. ECOs track, implement, and revert changes to products and bills of materials. And if we go to our miscellaneous tab over here and stare at this version field right there, this tells us which version of this bomb we're on. Now that we know what we're working on, let's say, switching a little bit over here, that I heard some feedback from one of my colleagues on the shop floor that we wanted to add one more operation here. And someone from the product design team mentioned that they want to use a higher quality tabletop. We want to make sure that we test the new build before applying it. So let's head over to the PLM app. So let's open up the PLM application. And then I'm going to click on this ECOs button inside of the BOM Updates project. So here is our pipeline for managing the status of our changes. Every company does it differently, so refer to the ECO type documentation for how to name your stages. For Stealthywood, new feedback lands over here on the far left, and we're going to have a separate video about the different ways that we can collect feedback. So for now, let's select new over here in the top left corner to create our first engineering change order, or ECO for you acronym lovers. So we're going to type a quick name. In this case, it's going to be update table. Great. So ensure the responsible field is set to me. Perfect. And for product, we're going to do that table that I've been talking about this whole day. All right, perfect. So you'll notice that when I selected that product, the relevant bill of materials shows up right under it. Boom. So these are all the initial details that I need. So I'm going to select the Start Revision button. Now I can start making the changes. So I'm actually going to move the ECO to the In Progress stage. Boom. So this way, no other engineer works on this. Now, this is the most important part. Click the Revision Smart button over here at the top to start making changes. All right, so here Odoo created a copy of my bomb and put this archived banner here to make sure that we know this is an inactive bomb that won't affect production. I can directly edit the bomb now. So inside of our components tab, I'm going to remove this tabletop down below by selecting the trash icon. Then I'm going to select add a line at the very bottom, and I'm going to add the fancy tabletop. Yes, our customers will be getting a higher quality product. All right, now we're going to select our nice little save icon here at the top before we move on to updating the instructions. All right, let's move on to those instructions. So I'm going to go to the operations tab, and we're going to click inside of this assembly 1 operation that we have. So we notice that this doesn't take the full 2 hours that we happen to have over here. So I think it's time for us to change it. We're going to change the default duration to 1 hour, 0 minutes. Boom. There we go. Additionally, we need to make some changes to the process. First, let's add a step to check the quality of the tabletop that we're adding. So we're going to select add a line, and here we go. We're going to type check tabletop for common defects. All right. This one is going to be left as a pass fail type right here. Okay, and everything else is going to be pretty much fine, so we can move on to the worksheet. Great. So inside of our worksheet tab, we're going to upload a quick PDF with all our nice little detailed instructions. And this is going to detail common defects to look out for. And boom, we're done. Save and close. Great. Look at that. And we're also going to drag this one right here by going to the far left where these 8 dots are. And we're going to put it at the very top of the form. Boom. Then let's make sure that the right tabletop product is being registered. So we're going to open up this component registration table head one that we have right here. And now we have a pop-up. Would you look at that? Okay, so component to register. Inside of here, we want to make sure that we select the fancy tabletop. Boom. All right, we're going to save this instruction. And now, if any of this looks unfamiliar to you, Odooer, feel free to check out our Bomb Basics tutorial in the manufacturing series. Should have added that as a little note. Okay, all of our changes are complete. So now we're going to select Save. Boom. And now we're going to select our nice little, well, actually, we're also going to say manually over here up at the top. And we're going to click the breadcrumb for the ECO to leave the bomb. Okay, so back on the ECO, we have a Review Changes Smart button at the top. Let's open that now. So once that we did that, this report summarizes the differences between the bomb in the revision Smart button versus the bomb that we're using in production. And very importantly, it summarizes the cost changes between the two bombs. That's pretty important. Each line in the report is color coded to help you understand the changes. If it's red, like you saw here, something was removed. If it's green, something was added. If it's blue, it's been edited. And at the bottom, we can see the total impact to our cost. As you can see, the changes we've made will increase our cost of production by $5.41, a necessary sacrifice. Now, this report could really come in handy as we evaluate the changes for changes to production and costs. If we follow the breadcrumbs back over to the ECO, hey, look, we're over here. We can discuss any tests and concerns in the chatter that we have over here. Then when you're finally ready and we finalize the decision to move forward, all an approver has to do is click Approve over here to approve the changes. That button's pretty powerful. Now I'm going to head on over to the Approvals tab, and would you look at that? We can see that the required engineer over here, aka me, signed off on the changes. So then, now that with all of that in place, we're going to move the ECO to the validated stage over here to show that this can eventually move to production. And then when we're finally ready, we're going to apply changes by clicking that button. And the bomb is ready for production. All right, now let's go see the new bomb in action. So we're going to open up the manufacturing app, select operations, and then manufacturing orders. Boom. Oh, interesting. We already have a draft demo down at the bottom here for the table. So looking inside of our components tab, this demo was created with the old bomb using the normal tabletop that I've now hovered over. So to update this bomb to use the new one, instead, we don't actually have to do much of anything except you see this nice little button right there that says update bomb. Ooh, look at that. It updated automatically. Ta-da! Wasn't that magical? One last thing to note. If the MO is already in the confirm stage that we have over here, we're forced to keep using the old bomb. This makes sure that things don't switch up on our workers in the middle of something, happening on the shop floor. So there you have it, Odooers. We learned how to make bomb changes in a sandbox environment and roll out these changes to production with minimal fuss. Check out our other PLM videos. We've got more coming your way. Thank you for watching, Odooers. And remember, you're doing great. Grab a snack. I'm going to see you next time.